Hey, welcome back to the No Doubt podcast. Khalil is not here to introduce us, so it is me returning, Yasith. Dineth could not make it today, but we have two new guests, not guests, two new hosts, um, here with us, and they're going to introduce themselves. So, Shahroze, you go first.
So I'm Shahroze Malik. I'm a film student, first year at TMU, and I'm really excited to do this.
Awesome. My name is Simone. I am also a first year student at TMU in the film program, and I also have a background in the acting industry. I've been acting since I was around 10. So yeah, I'm really excited to dive into this.
Can you name anything you've been in?
One of the most popular shows that I've been in would probably be Working Moms, which is, I believe, currently on Netflix, which was awesome. And I'm currently doing a show on CBC called Run the Burbs with Andrew Fung, who's awesome. Love
Congrats.
it. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, fun fact, they're in the same class. I don't know
Yes,
if you guys
we
want
are.
that out there, but it's now out there. Also, anything, yeah, obviously that's gonna get edited. So do you guys want to just jump right to it?
Sure.
Sure, okay, so our first topic, we have two topics today. Our first one is, I'm sure you guys know about the recent strikes with the writer's strike and the actor's strike. The writer's strike thankfully got resolved, so they are back in progress of production. But the actor's strike is still not resolved, and the studios actually walked away from the negotiating table because I believe the actors demanded a 2% royalty from each episode, which is not a lot. And honestly, when I came into the industry, I thought that actors already got a royalty because that just makes sense. But I guess not. But yeah, so when actors demanded that, the studios walked away. So, Simone, as an actor, I guess you can kind of talk first.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely, you think of like the acting industry and you think of this glamorous, like, all the money in the world, when in reality it's a pretty harsh industry. And you'd be surprised how much like unfair treatment there is, especially within pay, because, people can say, oh, well, this person got paid X amount of money up front, but at the end of the day, it is very possible as an actor, you only really book like 1 to 2 jobs a year. And you have to be able to sustain yourself with just that amount of money that you've made in that very short period of time. So, although people are like, okay, you've gotten like, a good amount up front, it's really not a livable wage, especially like, again, when things like these happen and there's no way for you to work, you don't have a way to sustain yourself if you do not have that royalty. And it's really shocking to see this kind of unfold, especially on such a big level, because on a lot of like even commercials give you residuals and give you royalties. So to see that like these big streaming platforms aren't doing the same when like the lower level has already established this is really, it just goes to show how much they'll take advantage.
Yeah, um, it's kind of crazy because they lose like no money, right? And at the end of the day, it really comes down to greed, and I can't think of another reason why it wouldn't come down to greed. And hopefully things do change for the better.
So the entertainment business is a scary business. That's what I've been hearing from so many like sources. Like there, it, as what Simone was saying, like the glamour. That's one story of it, and then there are the people that don't make it, and the people that don't make it, it's a hard life. It's a really hard life. Exactly what Simone was saying. You have to be able to sustain yourself. There, like it's like I like. There's one quote that I was listening from Mark Hamill, where he said, "I don't let my kids work in the entertainment business until they're 18 because it's an endless life of humiliation, rejection." And like yeah, basically that. And like I was like sheesh, because like that's like, especially as an actor, like this is not like a regular, like it's not exactly a regular career choice, if you know what I mean. Like you're putting yourself out there for like for praise or for criticism. Like your face is on the screen, like your persona is attached to the work. Like It's not like, an engineering job where you can sit behind a computer and let the company take the blame or the praise for what you're doing. It's you. Like, it's everything is like it's like your heart's on a sleeve. Everything is what you're doing. When they're putting like these like restrictions on like what actors or what writers can do, like when they're putting themselves out there, when they're putting literally like all their hard work, and they're not getting the money for it, like it's ridiculous. And I'm glad at least the writer's strike was resolved. At least they found something for that I'm genuinely glad. And in a way, I thought that would have been kind of scarier, because at least the writer's strike, because I feel like if like AI can develop to a point where like in the coming like maybe 20 or 30 years, where I feel like AI could get advanced to write a decent script, and could get more like it could progress to that. At least in my opinion, it can at one point progress to that stage. And if writers can find like an agreement with a studio, even if even if that outcome does come true, like it kind of like, I feel like there's room for human creativity, and it's not just putting prompt into into an AI, and like getting a show from that. I feel like my fear was more for the writers, in a sense, but like again, the actors, now there's it's a whole like separate issue as well, and equally as important. But like yeah, that's, I guess that's my 2 cents on it.
No, yeah, totally. Um, I know the writer's strike. I'm pretty sure they got like anti-AI laws because it is taking away jobs of people. But also, I know the actors are trying to push for no AI like background actors, and I didn't know they did that. But then I saw some clips, and it's like you can tell that there's AI generated people. It's like PS1 graphics, and I think it was, I don't know what actor it was, but I think it might have been Christian Bale. But he said that he got his first thing. It might not have been Christian Bale, but it was a big actor, and they said they got their first big gig because they were a background actor. So by using AI, you directly take away from those opportunities.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it definitely goes to show like it's not just the upfront opportunity of like being a background actor, it also like opens so many doors. Because at the end of the day, like in an industry like this, like making connections is really you need to. Without making connections with
Yeah.
people and being able to even be in that environment, it makes it so much harder for you to progress within the world and climb the ladder. Um, and yeah, it also like just in my opinion, but towards like, watching a film and seeing that, it just takes away a level of humanness. And I feel like it almost takes me out of the world, unless that's what, like, depending on the movie, obviously, and the content. But I don't know, I feel like it's kind of counterintuitive. As it just, I don't know, it really just doesn't sit right with me. Even like watching that in a movie, I'm just like, ugh, I don't know.
I want to say, hold on. Um, Shout out A24 because they agreed immediately to every single want that writers and actors needed. So their movies are still being made.
Hmm.
So yeah, shout out A24. Yeah, yeah, it does. It's a shitty thing, and at some point along the journey of film and art in general, it became like more towards capitalism,
Hmm.
and then it became less about the art. Like back when like Kubrick and like other old directors and like older actors, when they were making things, it was strictly about, hey, I have this cool idea for a film, let me make it. And then you'd get people that are on the come up because they have good ideas, but now it's pretty much only about the money and the art is being forgotten. And that's clearly translated in these strikes where they don't see like the writers or the actors as people that are that are talented in a craft. They see them as tools to how much money they can make, like how much Disney can make over Universal, things like that. And I think I really hope the actor strike ends soon, but also if it doesn't end, then it's not something like they should keep fighting essentially. And I know the big corporations are trying to like outlast each other. And I heard that one of the reasons they're not accepting this anymore is because the bigger corporations know that they can survive without the revenue. So they're trying to outweigh other corporations so that those corporations go bankrupt because there's no more actors. So there's just like everyone's trying to outweigh each other so that the competition is less. And then so from there you can really see how the greed of it all is kind of corrupting the industry. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it's really awful. I think it also just unveils the mask of glamour. Just, it gives people a look into what, you know, people are really dealing with all the time behind the scenes. It's not, you know, the process that it used to be of just like love and passion and wanting to create something and getting people together and making it happen. Now it's very much a numbers game, and it's horrible that the writers especially, who are really the central part of they are such a central part of a production. They breathe life into it. They're without their script, like there's nothing to go off of. And to see how easily they can just be disregarded and taken advantage of, it's really disheartening. It's truly disgusting because yeah, sorry, I'm
No,
like really passionate about it,
I
but
can
it's
tell.
just
Keep
it's awful.
going.
It's awful.
Yeah, no. Um, Shahroze, I don't know if you want to say anything. I hope not just talk. He left.
Cool.
Okay. Okay, goodbye, Shahroze.
His laptop
Well,
probably died or
yeah,
something.
yeah. He looked like he was finicking with something, but he'll be back, I hope.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it does suck because it's taking away everything that people get into this industry for. A lot of people don't really get into this to make money, right?
Mm-mm.
No one's like, oh, I'm gonna make money, so I'm gonna go into film. They know how much of a grind it is. People get into this because they're passionate, and then once you're in it, you kind of quickly realize that it's not all the beauty that you thought it was. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of greed and
Yeah.
ego and so. But a good thing that this is doing is it's allowing more indie films to take like precedence over like the bigger films, because the bigger films, in all honesty, have been pretty bad recently. For like, hello, Shahroze, you're back.
Sorry, that was some weird thing just happened on my phone. I had to leave. I don't know what the heck happened. I couldn't
It's all
like you
good.
guys. All you guys just got muted for like 5 minutes. No, not 5 minutes. For 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. And I was like, I just got pretty scared. So I was like, I gotta leave. But anyways, I'm back. I'm
Mm.
back.
No worries. Yeah, I was saying how it's paving a way for indie films, and which is great again, obviously, but now it's for especially in the economy that we're in, especially as Canadians, I think just so much money to make, and it's just a really tough time for the film industry in general. Simone, is it affecting work in Canada too?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because a lot of what is filmed in Canada is written in America. So usually writers will write a script, do all the pre-production, and they'll actually cast a lot of Canadian actors, just because it's cheaper to film in Canada for them. So of course they're gonna take advantage
Yeah.
of that. So yeah, during these past 3 months, or no, my God, way more than 3 months. My God, what am I talking
Yeah.
about? Sorry, during this strike, I know personally, it's been dead. For lack of better words, there's really been nothing within my own relationship with my agency. They've just been like, we have nothing to give you, and we're so sorry, but yeah, everyone's just really trying to tough it out
Yeah.
through everything, and yeah, even within like my circle of friends within the industry, they've all just been twiddling their thumbs for the past way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hit hard on the Canadian film industry, but I do believe it is leaving light for indie films because really it's so difficult when you don't have like this big budget. You don't have all the time in the world. You don't have all the takes in the world. Understand that like you're working like 15-hour days, 6 days a week for next to nothing, pennies,
Yeah.
just hoping that this thing that you created, that you've loved, that you've um, you know, tried to bring together the best you can with what you're given is really, it's horribly unappreciated. And it needs to change.
It is horribly unappreciated. And then every time someone was like, "Oh, well, you went into art, you knew what you were getting into," I'm like, so stop watching art then. Stop watching movies. Stop going on Instagram. Stop looking at anything that has to do with art if you hate artists that much. So it's just, yeah, just live your life. Go to your job, and that's it. Come back. Don't do anything else. And it's like that's artists kind of we're an important part of the world, and even though it doesn't seem like that.
No, 100%, 100%. Artists are such an important part of the world. We need people who dare to be creative. Yeah, and it's just so underappreciated, which is so frustrating because what people don't understand, again, it's not just like a 9 to 5. You don't just go into work. You don't, do your routine, come home and just leave it behind. You take that with you. You eat, sleep, and breathe your projects.
Yeah.
And to see it not perform the way that it should after you've checked all your boxes and done everything and lived this project for so long. Yeah, it's not something that's brought to the forefront, which I feel like should be, because I feel like if it was really talked about how much really goes into films, people would be more interested and they wouldn't underestimate artists so much.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, one thing I was gonna say is before the writer's strike, we were already in a slow period because COVID had just ended, and now everything's kind of crashing. And then and no, this is about the economy, but a sign of a recession is companies start making cheaper movies that are more ethically ambiguous, and it's starting to happen. Companies are making cheaper movies. Like there was that one movie where I think it was Jennifer Lawrence and she's dating like a 16-year. Yeah, like that is not right. And the part of the last recession in like the 1920s it was, or before that or after. It's embarrassing. But the last recession, movies like that came out and it's been studied as a sign, and now with COVID hitting us and then the writer's strike and the actor's strike and then the economy, the inflation that we're in, you can tell that everything's just kind of going down right now. And whoever makes it out, makes it out. Whoever can stick it out to the end will eventually get back on the rise, but it's just tough for everyone. And especially the writer's strike, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's just so disheartening how everything came to play, because the way that we approached the situation was so counterintuitive. So counterintuitive to, it just, like you said, just goes to show the greed, who can stick it out to the end, who can outlast who, when in the end, sure, you can pump out all this art, whatever,
Yeah.
you can pump out all this, but at the end of the day, like, what does that really reflect? What are you leaving behind? What does it matter who can produce the most if it's not quality? If people they don't want to see this. Like, no one wants to see another Disney remake.
Yeah. No, 100% you're right. Yeah. Obviously, you can talk as much as you want about this because you're an actor and you're living through it. I know my other actor friends, they're also like, well, we're just taking as much stuff as we can right now because there's no like big paying stuff. And then there's nothing wrong with that, obviously, and it helps everyone else too.
You gotta survive.
Yeah.
You gotta survive.
Shahroze, I don't know if you have any thoughts about this or if you can even hear us. Okay.
Okay, sorry. I don't know. I feel like I've done way too much talking.
No, same. Yeah. It doesn't get better.
Yeah, no, I definitely think you worded that perfectly. And like speaking to like, the experience of like telling people that you're in an arts program and like getting the reaction. I can't even like count how many times I've asked someone what program they're going into and them following it with, "Oh yeah, I'm going into this program. My starting salary is
Yeah.
insert big." Like, and I'm like, oh, well, like, are you interested in your program? Like, are you excited? And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna be rich. Okay. 100%.
Yeah, obviously, I don't want to. No, I don't want any of us to sound like a pretentious art student, but it's how it goes. Like, yeah. For the young artists out there who are learning how to deal with everyone laughing at you, you just gotta keep going. Just keep moving.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what they say.
And be proud of yourself because you know what? Like at the end of the day, you say you want to do anything in the arts, you'll hear a million times over, "Oh, you're going to be a starving artist. You're going to be this. This is wrong. You should do this instead. This is the safer option." And still wanting to do it anyway and still being it goes it's very brave.
It
It's
is.
it's very brave and it's admirable to chase your dreams despite everyone who's going to tell you that you're not good enough, which at the end of the day just means they weren't brave enough to follow what their dreams were and follow their passion. Because at the end of the day, you can have a safe job and get laid off anyway. You might as well pursue your passion and try.
Yeah, might as well be happy.
Might as
Obviously,
well be
yeah,
happy.
everyone's situation is different, and we have to respect that. So
Mhm.
just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, we're
We
not jumping
understand.
on like other jobs, by the way. Like
No.
everyone, do your thing. Like, that's in no way, shape, or form. Like if you want to, I don't know, do computer sciences, you do your thing. That's awesome. I wish I could. My brain calculated things that way.
The point
But
is
yeah,
to let people do their thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's leave it on this hopeful note. And do you guys want to move on to the next topic?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So our next topic and our last topic is Michael Caine retiring. I'm sure you guys all know who Michael Caine is. He's Alfred in the Dark Knight series. He was in The Italian Job, The Cider House Rules. He's been in tons of movies. And he's retiring, and I quote, from what I can remember, he said, at this point of his life, the only roles he's gonna get is a 90-year-old grandpa. And he'd rather retire with good films than that. So yeah, how do you guys feel about that?
I mean, like, obviously, I have not experienced to his caliber what that means for him, but I can definitely speak to how easily it is to get stereotyped within an industry when you reach a certain age, when you look a certain way. It's awful. It really is, and it puts you in such a box. Yeah, so it's definitely respectable, and it in he has every right, you know, like he's made his peace. He's been a part of such incredible films and has really brought so much light to the industry. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. We're good. But at the end of the day, sorry. Um, yeah, at the end of the day, also like he's done so much. Like he deserves to take a break. Like man needs to rest.
He's
Like
done a lot.
respect.
Yeah.
But take a break. Like please. I hope he's okay. Like it's the tough industry. So like he has all my respect in the world. But yes, above anything, if you feel you no longer have a place, especially within any part of film, once you lose the passion for it, it's not worth it.
Yeah. He's definitely made his stuff, and he might come back for another Christopher Nolan role because Christopher Nolan loves him. But it's just like I think from at his time, it's either you can like leave the industry with the mark you left on it, or die out with it. And he's and like there's no shame in leaving your legacy behind, you know, because he's clearly had a great run. He's one of the most successful actors probably, and it's like if you show people a picture of him, everyone's gonna know who he is, and he'd rather be remembered as the guy from the Batman versus the grandpa from a Disney film or something.
I think it also like once you get to that that stage where you just kind of get pigeonholed in a box, you also get taken advantage of. You know, there's countless movies where there'll be like this huge respected actor who will just make an appearance and that guarantees an audience will show up to see the movie even
Yeah.
if they're not a part of the rest of the film. They're literally in it for like 2 seconds. You know, again, like you said, you worded it perfectly. It's if he wants to leave behind what he's already done instead of, holding on to everything, and pushing through when it's no longer the same industry it was when he started.
Yeah,
Also,
100%. Yeah. When he started, it was completely different.
oh yeah, and having to navigate it now.
Yeah.
He's already done his thing. Like he does not have to prove himself. Anything like we as the younger generation trying to live up to what he did, like it's disappointing, And like of course he wants to bow out. He's like, what's
Yeah.
the point? What's the point? Or not bow out, but retire respectfully.
Yeah.
Like
His final
he's
show, basically. I'm
he's earned
surprised he's still
his
here,
right.
to be honest. He didn't quit before. But on the thought of that, who else do you think can replace his British soft grandpa vibes? I
I feel
really
like
can't.
that's a very loaded question.
Who else? Who can replace him, or not replace him, but like be that iconic role?
Ugh. I don't know. I don't. Shahroze, what do you think? I don't have anything to say.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is true. I feel like he has to get softer though. He's too like muscular, and Oh, yeah, yeah. Let me Google
Yeah,
some
right?
old British. I have not. Let me Google it. I have a list of old British actors, and there's Tom Hardy, Ian McKellen, Christian Bale, Idris Elba, Gary Oldman. There's just some of the names. Alan Rickman, rest in peace. Um, yeah, I think Henry Cavill. I
Mm,
also think that in like 50 years, Tom Holland will do a great job as a soft old British man.
yeah, I could see it. I
Yeah,
could see it.
he was yeah, but yeah, someone's good. I think Tom Hardy can get into it. Have you seen him in like Peaky Blinders when he plays? I forgot who he plays, but he's like old, and I think he has an accent, and yeah, he's good at it. But eventually, we need someone. What was the movie you called? The movie Children of Men. And the other filmmakers are gonna kill me for not knowing this. I gotta watch it. I really do. I remember I think the most recent movie I watched of his was The Prestige, the magic movie with yeah, with Christian Bale in it. He just always with Christian Bale. But yeah, honestly, I don't have that much to say about this because good for him for retiring and getting out, and he left his mark on the world clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like it's like, especially within the acting world, like it's not an industry that lets you age gracefully
Oh yeah,
at all.
100%.
Like as soon as, you're not in your 20s anymore, people are like, "Oh, they have this wrinkle and they're gaining this much weight and they're not their 19-year-old body anymore. What? They're going off the rails. Like, they're
Yeah,
aging like a human being. They're functioning as a human being and society does. That's crazy. I think once you have this ideology of a person, you put them on a pedestal. It's so hard to see them as anything else than what you grew up seeing them as. It's definitely a burden and a huge weight on to put on one person's shoulders. So
100%.
again, that also just goes to like he has every right to retire as
Yeah.
the great he will always be.
Yeah, he's definitely like I think he'll go down eventually as one of the greats. Like
Hmm.
it'll take some time for it to like marinate, and then you're like, man, Michael Caine was in some good movies, and
Well,
he
yeah, we
always
never really appreciate what we have until it's
yeah,
gone.
exactly till it's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's honestly like all I have to say about it. If you guys have anything else, Shahroze.
So sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Song. Okay.
Well, yeah. Um. Well, I guess that wraps up our first episode of the new No Doubt podcast. Thank you, Simone and Shahroze and Connor, for recording it for us. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, can't
Yeah,
wait.
can't wait. Is Connor here?